All right, chapter 7, the return. Dr. Gordon, where are we returning back to?
Well, we're returning back to ourselves, but as all the tales that we read about the journey of the hero or heroine who's gone on this journey of self-discovery, you come back to the same place, but with different eyes. You see it differently.
So,
So at the end of this journey, what we have is a program that we've put together from all of the different tools and techniques we've learned in the other 6 stages, and that we're developing a daily program of working with meditation, both quiet meditation and active expressive meditations, using our imagination, using guided imagery, the wise guide image, or maybe using drawings or written exercises to access our imagination. These are all things I describe in Unstuck. We're seeing people somewhat differently. We're seeing that person who we thought was we really didn't like. We come back and we say, oh, she's not so bad. We see it's very interesting. One of the things that we see in our trainings, and I want to talk a little bit more at the end about our trainings at the Center for Mind Body Medicine, is people sit in the same small group of 10 people over the course of 5 days, 16 hours over 5 days, and they watch not only themselves, they learn about themselves, but they also see the other people in the group. We don't let people argue or interrupt or analyze or interpret. Everybody's there to work on themselves. But what happens is by the second or third or fourth or fifth day, that person who you were envious of in the beginning, you think, oh, no, he's all right. He's got his thing. I've got mine. He's got his issues. I got mine. And that one you thought was a total idiot turns out actually not to be so dumb after all. So this is a process. As you become more self-aware, you start seeing other people and your relationships differently. You start, you and your partner have been in a pattern for years, which may not have been, it may have been okay when you first got together, but it's not working anymore. So you've fallen into a pattern that's not working. And all of a sudden, you're seeing not only that it's not working, but you're seeing, oh, here's a way I can make a change. Here's something I can do. I can say, come on, honey, let's go out for a walk. Something simple. Or let's take another look at the way we're dealing with our son's problems. I'm going to try to get out of the fixed ideas I've had before. I want to invite both of us to really put our heads together in a different way. So you're coming back with fresh eyes, with a whole if you will, whole toolbox of tools to use to keep yourself in balance, to keep yourself in the process of change, to deal with the demons, to reach out to other people, to connect with the larger world, to have some kind of spiritual practice. All these things you now put together in a program that is right for you. And each of them is going to be somewhat different for each of us. And that's the return. And then life feels different. Feel a little lighter, feel a little more competent, feel a little more hopeful, or maybe a lot more about what you can do. So that's the return. And that's coming back home. And there are all these wonderful pictures of, if you think of Odysseus's homecoming, and he's got to slay the suitors, who are trying to get his wife to leave him and marry them. But once he's done that, he's home, he's with his family, and he's there. But the same thing happens to all of us. As we come through this kind of journey, which is sometimes an ordeal and sometimes simply an adventure, that we come back stronger, we come back more flexible, we come back more able to live our lives fully. And that's what I hope for, and for myself and for everyone, everyone I work with and everyone who's reading Unstuck.
Beautiful. I definitely want to share a little bit more on the return, Dr. Gordon, because I think when you go so far into being sad or depressed or just kind of living our lives, we forget what the original place feels like. We forget how to feel amazing, sort of jumping out of bed with joy. And I didn't know you could feel this way until a year out of having sort of done everything. In fact, we must be soul sisters from a previous life, because our health boot camps is structured very similarly. And having put myself through all of that, sort of the nature walks, we call it heal zone activities, and having gotten to a point where I am just always happy. And I hadn't felt that way for decades. I mean, starting from undergrad, there's the stress of getting grades, and there's relationship trauma, and there's all kinds of stuff that goes on. We get so mired in our day-to-day life that's full of serious ups and downs. We forget that there is an original place that's calm and joyful and blissed out. Share a little bit about that, if you will, please, because people don't even know where they're returning to. Like, where am I coming back to?
Well, I think there is in all of us that possibility for that joy. There are some people though who really may not even remember that they've ever experienced that. People who've been
Hmm.
down and out for so much of their lives, so it's a bit unfamiliar to them.
Exactly.
And the idea is often there, and I've seen this with people who've been depressed for a very long time, is I'm not sure I trust this. I feel
Exactly.
good, but what's going to happen next? When is the
Exactly.
other shoe going to fall?
Exactly.
When am I going to go back again? So I think this is where the continuing practice is really important, and where meditation helps you see those thoughts that threaten to drag you back down on the one hand, and helps you appreciate having the meditative mind, the mind that's more capable of being there in the present, helps you appreciate exactly that joy that you're talking about. That, oh yeah, no, that I'm drinking a little iced coffee here. This is so delicious. And not just drinking it as a matter of habit, but really
Yes.
enjoying it. And I feel,
Yes.
my body feels kind of, I'm sitting in this chair and I've kind of been ignoring my body, but now I'm paying attention. Oh yeah, it feels pretty good. And I got to shift my position a little. And that feels even better. So it's really like a continual awakening,
Yes.
and that's what we need to come to. And even as we do that, there will be moments when we're not happy all the
Hmm.
time, that we're anxious and angry and envious.
Hmm.
It'll come,
Hmm.
but it'll also, if you allow it to, it will go. And
Yes.
that's the whole message of this unstuck approach,
Yes.
is that issues will come. Um, there's I like to use a lot of reggae
Mm.
in trainings and workshops. I just happen to like reggae.
I love
And
reggae.
Jimmy Cliff, one of his songs, he says, opposition will come your way.
Hmm.
Opposition's going to come our way, no
Hmm.
matter who we are. And the
Absolutely.
idea is, how do you relax with it? How do you not get totally thrown by it? And if you're thrown for a while, how do you say, okay, I was thrown for a while. It's not that I'm an idiot or a bad person or this approach hasn't worked. It's just that we get thrown and now we need to come back. So it's an ongoing process of coming up against difficulties and then coming back to this moment and accepting and appreciating what's going on in this moment.
Absolutely. There is a beautiful place to return to. Everyone who's listening or watching this, know that there is a beautiful place, even if you may not have experienced it for a long, long time. Fight for it, strive for it. You will get there. Don't accept a place of sadness, a place of depression as the de facto state of mind for the rest of your life, because it's not true. It
Right. Accept it and move through it and
Yes.
beyond it. So it's that
Yes.
paradox. You have to
Yes.
accept it to begin
That's
with
true.
and
Yes.
then know that you can move through it.
Yes. Yes.
It's not either or.
That's right. That's very true. That's very true. And there is this beautiful place that you will come to where you'll be just joyful and happy to be alive. So, with that said, Dr. Gordon, thank you so much. One last tip for anyone who's listening to this. What is the one thing you want them to do right now to get back on the journey to being unstuck?
Mm. Get up from watching this, listening to this, and do something you enjoy doing. Find something you really gives you a little bit of pleasure. The other thing that I wanted to mention to people is, aside from reading Unstuck, which I hope you'll all read, and it's out in paper, you can order it on Amazon, is those who are interested in not only using this method for themselves, but for others, should take a look at our website,
Yes.
www.cmbm, Charlie Mary, Betty Mary.org. And if you want to use it with others, come to our trainings. We're training people. You don't have to be a health professional. It is a professional training, but it's open to those people who want to learn this method in depth, want to learn the science, want to experience the techniques in the small groups, and want to share it with other people. So we have health professionals, many different kinds, educators, community organizers, peer counselors, leaders of women's groups, people who want to share their work with their friends and their churches, synagogues, mosques. We've trained about 6,000 people around the world, and I just want to welcome anyone who's seeing or hearing this to take a look at the website, look at the videos, look at the work that we've done all over the world with people who are depressed and traumatized. Look at, there's a really nice video from 60 Minutes that features our work with war traumatized kids in Gaza and Israel. You get a feeling for, and other videos too, you get a feeling for what this can do. And please come join us. And if you're working with people who are underserved, or you yourself have a low income and you'd like to do this, we will do our best to give you at least a partial scholarship to come to the training. We want you to be there.
What a great opportunity. Thank you so much for sharing that, and your kindness and generosity in making it available for those who are underprivileged as well. We are going to be putting all the links on the show notes. So make sure you guys who are listening and watching, please check out the show notes for the links to the website, to the programs, and I hope you will take advantage of some of these great opportunities. I believe I will be flying out as well. So Dr. Gordon, thank you so much again. And for the rest of you, put on some music and go dance, go for a walk in nature. And I will see you on another podcast.
Thank you, Rena.